Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming out and joining us. I wanted to provide an update on this Saturday afternoon to our storm response efforts. We're here on North Holmes Avenue, just south of Sam Cooper Boulevard, where MLGW crews are repairing a 6-inch water main that is ruptured. And that 6-inch main can flow more than 500,000 gallons of water a day. So that can have a significant impact on our ability to maintain pressure when you have a lot of those around the system. The focus of our efforts today and tomorrow are on finding and repairing water main leaks, as well as leaks in people's homes and in businesses. And we will continue that effort 24/7 until we have found all of those leaks. Now tomorrow on Sunday, we know the temperature is going to warm up. And when the temperature warms up, there will be more leaks that will reveal themselves. So as we get towards the afternoon tomorrow, I will have a better idea of when I will be able to restore water to customers who currently do not have water or who have very low water pressure right now. Now we've discovered and repaired 36 water main leaks so far, and more than 2,000 leaks in homes and businesses, and we continue to find those as we go throughout the day. Now repairing those leaks is going to be the key for us to restoring system pressure. So right now there's more than 100 MLGW crews, not repair crews, but people who are out looking actively for the leaks so that we can get them repaired. And that is the key to restoring pressure in the system, is repairing the leaks. And that restoration of pressure is the first thing that we need to do before we can begin testing the water. You've heard me talk about the 20 pounds per square inch. That's our threshold. Once pressures are up above 20 pounds per square inch, we can begin testing the water at our laboratory. We will have to wait 18 to 24 hours for those cultures to come back. And then we can send those results to the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation so that we can lift that boil water advisory, which I anticipate will happen into next week. Now, this is exactly the reason why we ask people to prepare coming into winter weather, to have some water on hand for at least 3 days. But I know that some people may be out, other people may not have any left, and so I appreciate all of the agencies who come together to distribute water to customers who may not have any. That's the City of Memphis, Memphis City Council, and the Shelby County Emergency Management Agency, who have been distributing water to customers. Now I want to say again, we will be at this 24/7. I do not have an estimated restoration time for anybody now until all these leaks reveal themselves and we can repair them. I will have an update for you tomorrow on that. I appreciate everybody's patience. We apologize for the inconvenience. These very deeply cold temperatures are very difficult to control for businesses and homes where their pipes are going to break, which is really causing a massive drop in our water pressure. So with that, I will stop and take any questions.
How many customers do you estimate are without water?
We estimated about 15% of our customers were in a low pressure area, and a smaller subset of that don't have water. So we know there's about 15% that have very low water pressure. I don't have an exact count on no water, but we do have several thousand calls for no water. So out of 255,000 customers, doing the math on that is just a couple of percent that don't have water.
I guess this is the second year in a row we've had a citywide boil notice.
Yep. Third ever in our history.
Yeah. Going forward, what should homeowners, businesses, and what can MLGW do to prevent low pressure like this when we do get the inevitable next winter storm?
Well, a couple of things. What MLGW has done is we are producing 20% more water than we had done just 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we couldn't produce enough water because our wells were freezing up. That's not the case. Our system is working very well. The wells are producing water, the treatment plant is treating the water, and the pumps are pushing it out at a very high volume. So it is performing really well. So that's one step forward in the progress. The other thing that we're seeing this year is last winter, we had a lot of fire protection systems that burst because they weren't being monitored. It was a holiday weekend and nobody was there. see those fire protections. That has significantly improved this time. As you'll recall, last year, I just had to do the boil and water advisory for everybody all at once. This was a slower moving progression. We had the smaller areas at first. We were hoping that we could find and fix many of the breaks. Once I had that fluctuating pressure, I just had to do it for the entire time. So we are making improvements there. I think, to give an example or a parallel, prior to the last 3 winters, the energy demand for electricity had all been in the summertime. The last 3 winters have all peaked the top 10. And in fact, this winter was the top demand for electricity. So what that's telling you is that cold temperatures becoming more and more frequent. So that's a change in our environment as opposed to what we used to have in the past. So we're going to have to all think together about how we protect those fire protection systems and what kinds of things we can do in our homes and businesses to protect those pipes. Customers we know had low pressure. That is in the northwestern part of Shelby County, the southeastern part of Shelby County. But we are seeing, as we adjust and balance and push water to various areas, that different areas are having low pressure for different periods of time. So I said about 15% of the customers originally had low pressure. That's the areas where we're typically seeing people with no water. So southeast and northwest. But we also know there are other areas that are seeing low pressure from time to time as we bring pumping stations up and bring them back down to refill our reservoirs. Right, and as a precaution, as I said, the 20 psi predominantly in those 2 areas, but a few times it dipped down in other areas of the city. That's why I had to do the boil water. So.
Is MLGW working to provide water to residents who can't get to their homes and go to some of the emergencies?
So we have our partners at the emergency management agencies are taking that task on for us to find customers who are not able to get water, and they're working to provide water to customers. Any other questions?
Is there a focus on those outlying areas that are like more so Shelby County rather than the heart of Memphis?
Well, for what? For restoration of water? Yes. Well, we're starting, what we do is we monitor pressures all along the system. When we see an area of low pressure, an area of high pressure, at our pumping station, we go to the area where we have the last known high pressure in the system, and we work between that and the low pressure area because we know there's a break somewhere in there. So we work out from where we know the good known high pressure is so we can find the leak fastest. Okay? Other questions?
And do you know how many gallons of water there are allowed to each individual person? I know it takes quite a bit of gallons
for the water distribution. I think the water distribution is focused on drinking water for individuals. We ask, there's about a gallon of water per day for individuals. What we ask for, what we recommend for individuals who are drinking. When we made the recommendation going into the storm dust water, we asked folks to put some water in the tub or in a large container for flushing in case you got into a no water situation. Each flush of the commode is about 1.6 gallons.
Housekeeping thing that I promised
Yes,
to get out.
housekeeping, yeah.
How many breaks are there right now that you guys are working on, and how many have you guys fixed so far?
36 we have fixed so far. This is number 37. There's several other crews out actively working breaks right now. I think there's 4 or 5 active breaks we're working right now, in addition to those 100 crews out looking for other breaks. I will tell you that we found over at the Hickory Ridge Mall just earlier today, water pouring out the doors. What that means is either domestic water or the fire protection system had burst and there was nobody there. So we finally got in contact with the owners and were able to secure that water, but that's a heck of a lot of water. It's a huge facility. We saw in North Memphis a building that was vacant and abandoned, but the water was still on. It was pouring out of the roof on all 4 sides of the building. Again, that was their fire protection system. That's a lot of water. So the urge that I have, the urgency is for people who own commercial properties. If you are not actively monitoring that property, I ask that you please check, because the water can be running for hours and nobody will know.
I know that a lot of this came from these temperatures and the weather, obviously.
Yes.
But was there a way to prevent this or way moving forward that MLGW could put something into practice?
There is not much we can do for homes and businesses. The building code has some monitoring requirements now for fire protection systems that new buildings have. We have looked at technologies that could help businesses that have unmonitored fire protection systems to see if there's a best practice there. For homes, the new building codes have a different kind of piping that is more resistant to cracking. And for MLGW, the investments we're making in our water production, distribution, water, you can bet we're going to be focusing on this going forward.
One more question. What about those new properties that are in those Shelby County areas? They're less than 20 years old. Some are brand new buildings that don't have water right now. Were they not properly infrastructure?
No, that is likely. There is a break in a line somewhere between where we are pumping the water and where they are receiving the water. So somewhere in the line there was a break, and the water can't get past that break to get to them. Yes, sorry, I missed any advice. So we still have the boil water advisory in place for consumption. You don't have to worry about that for showering or laundry or any of that. We also have the conservation order in place. So what that means is, delay running the dishwasher until it's completely full. Delay running small loads of water if you can. Tomorrow, when the weather warms up, everybody can stop dripping faucets. The weather's above freezing tomorrow. Although it doesn't feel like it now, tomorrow will be warmer, a month will be warmer. So that can contribute 5 to 10 million gallons of water. We all stop dripping tomorrow when the weather is warm. All right.
Thank you.